Hello viewers. My name is Tulani Hlachwayo and I welcome you all to my channel. I am taking you for a mathematics lesson and today we are dealing with proving the quadratic formula. Proving the quadratic formula is our topic today. Proving the quadratic formula is our topic today. Proving the quadratic. Right. We want to know, where does the quadratic formula come from? Because it is not coming from the A, it's coming from somewhere. You see, it was not just taken from anywhere. So we want to have an understanding of where exactly is it coming from. Where did they get it from? You see, so deriving, it's actually deriving a quadratic formula from a quadratic equation. Remember, our quadratic equation usually comes in this form: ax squared plus bx plus c is equals to 0. So our quadratic equation comes in this form: ax squared plus bx plus c equals to 0. So you are given that equation and you are told to solve this equation, or to find the values of x. We are going to have two values. It's a quadratic equation. So we are actually looking for the roots. You see, so now when you are given a quadratic equation and you are told to solve it, there are three methods of solving a quadratic equation. The first method is by factoring. You see, where you factorize like this expression on the left-hand side, factorize it. Then you go on to find the values of x. The second method is by taking a quadratic formula and you substitute the values, value of a, b, and c there into the quadratic formula, and then you get the values of x. Then the last stage, the third one, is the method of completing the square. It's by using the method of completing the square. Complete the squares and then you go on to find the values of x. So what we're going to do, look at, there are these two methods, the method of factoring and the method of completing the squares. You see, when we use either one of them, it will lead us into a quadratic formula. But today, what I want us to do is to look at the method of completing the squares. You see, we take the quadratic equation, we solve it using the method of completing the squares so that it can reach into a quadratic formula. It actually going to take us into a quadratic formula. You see, so now when we are using the method of completing the square, what is our first step? Our first step is to divide everything by the coefficient of x squared, which is a. So we divide everything by a. So a there cancels each other. We are left with x squared plus bx over a plus c over a is equals to 0. You see, so we have managed to turn that original equation there into this form. So now, when it is in this form, I want us to check this expression which is on the left-hand side and separate it into two, like this, whereby we'll be having x squared plus bx, x squared plus bx over a. We separate it into 2 plus c over a is equals to 0. So we have managed to separate it into 2. So now, what I want us to do now is to find two values look at the first part. Remember, we have separated it into two parts. But looking at the first part in this expression, we look deep into the coefficient of x, which is b over a. So we want two values that when we add them together, they give us the coefficient of x, which is b over a. So let's do it like this. And the coefficient of x is b over a. So we want two values that when we add them together, they give us b over a. How? Where can we get them? And how do we get those two values? It's either, there are two ways to get them. It's either we divide the denominator by 2, which is a, or we multiply the numerator by 2. You see? So it will actually give us b over 2a. b over 2a. You see? So when we add these values, they give us this. But when we multiply them, definitely they lead us into this. You see? So now we take this one, 2 of b over 2a squared. We add it here in the first part. We add it here in the first part. b over 2a squared. Because we have added it in the first part, we have to subtract it again, but we subtract it in this other part. Minus b over 2a squared. So 50-50, we added it, we subtract it again. So now we are left with this expression now in this form. What we need to do now is to look at the first part of the expression there and we factorize it. So it's easy to factorize it because you just say x plus b over 2a squared. We have done it. And then we take these others onto the other side of the equal sign, of which b, when you just square, it becomes b squared over 4a squared minus c over a. You see? So now we have it in this form. And now what we want to do is to deal with this expression on the right-hand side now. So when we deal with that, what is the coefficient? What is the common denominator? Sorry, the common denominator is 4a squared. You see 4 there, so end up having b squared there. Minus a there, you end up having 4ac. So we have something like this now, b over 2a squared. So we have it like this. So because of the space, I'll need to wrap everything there to create a space. Let us create a space. Let us create a space. All this, take it out. Now, right. So now we have this one. Let me bring it here. It's x plus b over 2a squared is equals to b squared minus 4ac all over 4a squared. Right, now what we do, we square Let me wrap this. Let me wrap this. So what we do now, we square, what we will square both sides. We square both sides, and when we do that, here we are left with x plus b over 2a is equals to plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac over 4a. Yeah, we have squared it now. Then what we do, we can take this onto the other side so that, or we can make the x of the subject of the formula. So x will be equals to, when we take that on the other side, it's minus b over 2a plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac over 4a squared is 4a squared over 4a squared. Then what we do here now is x is equals to, it's minus b over 2a, it's plus or minus, when we square this one at the bottom, we are able to square it. So here on top it will be the square root of b squared minus 4ac. Then after squaring this, we find that it will be 2a. You see, all over 2a. Now we come here, it's x is equals to minus what we do is the next step, common denominator here is what? Is 2a. So there we find it's minus b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac. You see? So at the end of the day, we have actually